Have you ever wondered about the history of Vanuatu? Let's start from the beginning, shall we? The story of Vanuatu begins with the Lapita people, the archipelago's first known inhabitants. Around 3,000 years ago, these adventurous seafarers embarked on a grand journey, migrating from Southeast Asia to the South Pacific. Guided by the stars, currents, and wind patterns, they navigated the vast ocean in their sleek outrigger canoes, eventually discovering the islands we now know as Vanuatu. The Lapita were not just skilled navigators, they were also proficient farmers and potters. They cultivated yams, taro, and bananas, harnessing the fertile volcanic soil of Vanuatu. These early farmers laid the foundation of the agricultural practices that continue to flourish on these islands today. But their most enduring legacy lies in their pottery. The Lapita created intricate designs on their earthenware, featuring geometric patterns and stylized human faces. These designs were carefully incised into the clay before firing, creating a unique aesthetic that distinguishes Lapita pottery from others. These beautiful artifacts provide us with a tangible link to Vanuatu's ancient past, a past that is rich in skill, artistry, and innovation. What's truly remarkable about the Lapita is their navigation skills. Without compasses or maps, they managed to traverse thousands of miles of open ocean, finding their way to remote islands scattered across the Pacific. This speaks volumes about their understanding of the natural world and their ability to adapt to new environments. As we delve deeper into the history of Vanuatu, we'll find that the Lapita people's spirit of exploration, their connection to the land and the sea, and their artistic and agricultural skills have left an indelible mark on the islands. Their innovative techniques and traditions have been passed down through generations and continue to shape the culture and practices of modern Vanuatu. So the Lapita people set the stage for the rich culture and traditions of Vanuatu that we see today. Fast forward to the 17th century, and we see the first European contact. As the age of exploration dawned, the remote islands of Vanuatu began to appear on the world map. The first European to set foot on these islands was a Spanish explorer named Pedro Fernández de Queiroz in 1606, who, enthralled by the beauty of the islands, claimed them for Spain and named them Terra Australis del Espiritu Santo. However, it was another 2 centuries before Vanuatu would be visited by Europeans again. This time it was the legendary British explorer, Captain James Cook. He arrived in 1774, and struck by the diversity of the islands and their people, he named them the New Hebrides, a name that would stick until the country's independence. The 1800s saw an influx of European missionaries and traders, each leaving their imprint on the islands. The missionaries introduced Christianity, which today is a major part of Vanuatu's cultural fabric, while traders brought new economic practices. The sandalwood trade, in particular, boomed during this time, driving a wave of European and Chinese traders to the islands. Yet this period was not without its dark side. The practice of blackbirding emerged, where thousands of Nai Vanuatu were coerced or kidnapped to work as laborers in far-off plantations, primarily in Australia and Fiji. This left a lasting scar on the indigenous communities, disrupting social structures and causing a significant population decline. On a more positive note, the arrival of Europeans also led to the documentation and study of Vanuatu's unique cultures, languages, and biodiversity. Many of the customs, rituals, and languages that we know about today were first recorded by early European explorers and anthropologists. In the grand tapestry of Vanuatu's history, the arrival of Europeans is a significant thread. It brought about a fusion of cultures, a blend of old and new, traditional and foreign. It introduced new religions, economic systems, and societal structures, while also highlighting the resilience of the indigenous communities amidst these changes. The impact of European contact was profound, forever altering the course of Vanuatu's history. In the 20th century, Vanuatu saw a unique form of governance. This was a time when the archipelago, then known as the New Hebrides, was under an unusual political arrangement called an Anglo-French condominium. This form of governance, established in 1906, saw the British and the French jointly ruling the islands, each with their own administrators, police, and education systems. The condominium was a complex and often confusing system. Imagine having 2 of everything, 2 legal systems, 2 educational systems, and 2 health services. This meant that a Vanuatu could be educated in a French school, prosecuted under British law, and treated in a French hospital. The islands were effectively governed as 2 separate entities, leading to a jumble of conflicting laws and regulations. The dual governance created a lot of complications for the indigenous Vanuatu people. They found themselves navigating through a maze of 2 distinct, often contradictory sets of rules and regulations. The system was cumbersome and inefficient, causing frustration and confusion among the Vanuatu. Then came the Second World War, which had a significant impact on the islands. The New Hebrides became a strategic location for the Allied forces. The islands were transformed into military bases, and thousands of American and Australian troops were stationed there. This influx of foreign military personnel brought about significant cultural and economic changes, some of which continue to influence Vanuatu to this day. The war also exposed the Vanuatu to the broader world and new ways of life. They witnessed the vast disparities between their living conditions and those of the foreigners, sparking a desire for change and self-determination, which would later fuel the struggle for independence. Yet, in the face of these challenges, the Vanuatu people remained resilient. They continued to uphold their customs, traditions, and way of life, preserving their unique Melanesian identity amidst the tangle of colonial rule and the upheavals of war. Their culture remained a beacon of continuity in a time of change and uncertainty. Despite the challenges of this period, the Vanuatu people continued to maintain their unique cultural identity. Their resilience and determination are a testament to their enduring spirit, a spirit that continues to thrive in the vibrant, diverse nation of Vanuatu today. The 1970s brought a wave of nationalism and a desire for independence. As the decade unfolded, the people of Vanuatu began to rally for self-rule, yearning to break free from the chains of colonialism. The seeds of the independence movement were sown, and the winds of change were blowing across the archipelago. Among the voices that rose to prominence during this time was the New Hebrides National Party, or the NHNP. Led by the charismatic Walter Lini, the party championed the cause of independence and sought to unify the diverse linguistic and cultural groups scattered across the islands. The NHNP's vision of a free and independent Vanuatu resonated with the masses, and the party became a beacon of hope for a nation longing to control its own destiny. However, the road to independence was not without its challenges. The late 1970s saw the eruption of a violent conflict known as the Coconut War. This was a complex and turbulent period in Vanuatu's history, marked by clashes between the indigenous Vanuatu people and the European settlers who opposed the idea of an independent Vanuatu. Tensions ran high, and the archipelago was on the brink of civil war. Despite the conflict and chaos, the indomitable spirit of the Vanuatu people shone through. They held steadfast to their dream of independence, undeterred by the hurdles that stood in their way. The resilience and unity displayed by the Vanuatu during these trying times was a testament to their determination to forge their own path. As the decade drew to a close, the tireless efforts of the NHNP and the Vanuatu people began to bear fruit. The stage was set for a new chapter in Vanuatu's history, one where the people of the archipelago would take the reins of their own nation. Amidst this turmoil, the dream of an independent Vanuatu was becoming a reality. On July 30th, 1980, Vanuatu finally gained its independence. Since that monumental day, the nation has been on a fascinating journey of growth and self-discovery, navigating the complex waters of modern nationhood with a blend of traditional wisdom and innovative thinking. In the political arena, Vanuatu operates as a parliamentary democracy, an echo of its British and French colonial past, yet firmly rooted in the indigenous Melanesian values of consensus and communal decision-making. The nation's leaders strive to balance the demands of a globalized world with the preservation of Vanuatu's rich cultural heritage, a challenging but rewarding endeavor. Economically, Vanuatu has experienced steady growth, fueled largely by agriculture, tourism, and offshore financial services. The nation's verdant landscapes yield an abundance of copra, cocoa, and kava, while its azure waters and pristine beaches beckon tourists from around the world. Yet, despite the allure of economic development, Vanuatu remains committed to sustainable practices, recognizing the intrinsic value of its natural resources. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of modern Vanuatu is its ongoing cultural preservation efforts. In a world constantly pushing towards homogeneity, Vanuatu stands as a beacon of cultural diversity and authenticity. From the heart-stopping leaps of land diving ceremonies on Pentecost Island to the hypnotic rhythms of costume dances, the nation's cultural traditions continue to thrive, passed down from generation to generation. Coupled with this, the Ni Vanuatu people continue to uphold traditional systems of land ownership and kinship, ensuring the survival of their unique way of life. These practices serve as a testament to the resilience of the Melanesian spirit, a spirit that refuses to be extinguished in the face of adversity. From its earliest inhabitants to the present, Vanuatu's history is a fascinating tale of resilience, adaptability, and enduring cultural pride. That's all for now, but remember, every island has a story waiting to be discovered.